Yay, we made it to another Tuesday. It's Larry Bailey, Awesome Technologies, Inc. Brian, Luba, Katie, you guys win. You are the very first folks here. So thank you very much for coming. As those that are rolling in, thanks for coming to the live event. You're finding it in Mortgage.Community. We meet every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, unless I am completely indisposed. But fortunately, we can get together today. Try to do it as a topic. It is a community meeting, so if you have questions, feel free to use the chat. If you want to come up on stage and use your microphone, you don't have to be on video, but if you want to be on video too, that's cool. For those listening in replay, if you're listening on podcast, that's awesome. You can get over to Mortgage.Community to see the whole thing, the whole shebang. Hey, Kayla, Kirsten. Hope you guys are doing well. So today's topic is Encompass Web for sales team. We'll wait till everybody kind of gets in and gets settled. I'm sure it'll be a couple of minutes. And we'll kind of talk about it. We're going to talk about, is there such a thing? Can you use it? Can you use desktop and web? Is it really ready? Well, we use, one POS over another, whether it's Simple Nexus or Big POS or Blend or whatever. Maybe you just even use Consumer Connect. Like, how does that tie into my sales team? So we're going to talk all about it, because for those that don't know my complete background, it's extraordinarily boring. So Brian asks, when you say when sales, you mean like LOs making loans in web? Yes, but this is more about the sales team using Encompass Web as it is today in ways that I find are empowering and are useful. I did this even up to 2 years ago, 2 years ago. I was helping a company really work on the sales side, and I was using Encompass Web. Just keeping track of pipeline and doing things like that. So Brian, I'm going to get into those topics. So as far as making sales, I don't know what that means, but we can talk about it. Tell me more if you have any questions. And that's a really important part of this whole experience, right? So we come to these meetings every Tuesday. You sacrifice a half an hour of your time, which I truly appreciate. And I try to share and pay you back with stuff I know and stuff I've learned. So just real quick, boring history, started in lending in 93. As a processor, realized I could make a hell of a lot more money in sales. So went into sales and never really looked back. And part of the way that I was successful was being accessible and having information that I can give to my borrowers or prospects as they needed it, sometimes even before they even asked, before they realized they needed it. And so I wasn't the smartest guy in the world. I certainly wasn't the best salesman, but I was really good at getting information quickly and delivering a perspective that was appropriate for the borrower at the time, and providing information so that they can make choices. And if you have never been in this situation, tell me if this sounds familiar to you. If somebody gives you 5 choices and they're like, hey, listen, I'm going to give you 5 choices. Just go ahead and pick one. You've already lost. Because if you pick one of their 5 choices, they win. And that's kind of the whole thing here. So when we get into Encompass Web, I'm going to show you what opportunities look like. I'm going to show you, as an admin, what you have to do to enable this and kind of play around with it. And most importantly, as a salesperson or in sales management, some of the things that you can use today, even if the rest of your company is using desktop, which everybody is. And really we'll speak to that. Sound like a plan? So for those who just rolled in, Larry Bailey, Awesome Technologies. Thanks for coming today. We're going to talk about how to use Encompass Web for the sales team. Brian asked a question earlier, you mean like making loans on the web? So the idea, of course, is, if we all remember back to, feels like 7 years ago, certainly at least 6, like LO Connect, right? That was how Ellie Mae at the time rolled it out, and it went kind of sideways, right? I think it's fair to say it went sideways, and it went sideways for a while. And so now we have Encompass Web, and I've been saying now for over a year, and I've been helping clients for over a year on how to prepare for the web and best practices and how to leverage certain things. Remember, this weekend is 24.1.0.1 as it stands now, is rolling out. And there's going to be a ton of functionality rolling out for the web. If you haven't gotten your eyeballs and your brain cells around workflow engine, you need to study up now. If you haven't gotten your eyeballs and your brain cells around enhanced conditions, you need to study up now. If you have any questions about that stuff, please let me know. But Brian, so Brian asks, or at least starting loans in web. Yeah, you can do that. But the idea is if you're interviewing a borrower right now, like today, you're not going to do that on the web. That's not the point. That's not what you want to do. You're going to do that in desktop. If the client's starting a loan for you, you can certainly do that on Consumer Connect, or you can do that on any other platform that creates a loan for you in Encompass. But that's really not where we're headed. So let me go ahead and share screen and get into the meat. Share screen. And again, if you're listening to us on podcast, get over to Mortgage.Community, check out the replay, and get here live so you can see it live.